Grade 11s, this is the video lesson on the LOCI coil spring, and we're going to look at the construction of a coil spring, how it unfolds. So basically the instructions request of you to draw the top view, which is given to you, of the coil spring with PR indicating the starting point, and then the position of the center point O, which is the reference point where you will start all proceedings, has been given to you. These specifications are very important. You have a pitch that is 100, so that's the height of your one turn. You have an outer diameter of 80, you have an inner diameter of 48. The spring profile, which is this cylindrical cord as such, is 16 diameter, and the direction is right-handed. Then you must draw the given top view as indicated, and then from there convert to the front view, and there's one turn of the coil spring that needs to be shown, and the start is at the top. So let's basically look at a 3D version of it. That circular profile there is in fact 16 millimeters, and we are going to be looking at, that's the thickness, that's the profile we're talking about, 16 from P to R. Okay, this is the top view. That's the opening of the coil spring, which we have right there if you view it from the top. Okay, and there's your reference point. The outer diameter which they talk about is 80 diameter, which you will use a radius of half of that, which is 40 from the center point, and your inner diameter is 48, which you're going to use 24 as a radius from this center to there to draw those circles. It's also very important to show this center line of your coil spring, which now will have an exact halfway between these two here. So if that profile from P to R is 16, then you're going to measure 8 from here and draw that circle from the center very faintly. Alright, so once you have completed that, you will divide your circle into the 12 parts, like that, with your 60 and 30. And it's important to note that we will be working with the inside circle as it is here, and not the outside and that inner circle there. So we will be working with the middle circle as such. Okay, so now I've labeled all my points on my middle circle because of it being a circular shape, and we're working with the center of the circular shape. Then these points here are going to be projected down as construction lines. Each one will be projected down, and remember they coincide with the ones on the opposite side. As we mentioned, you have this distance is anywhere away from that point. This distance from here to here is one turn, which is 100 millimeters as the pitch. So you can block it there as 100 millimeters. Then for you to be able to get 12 spaces in one turn, and remember there's always 12 spaces in one turn, and for you to get 12 spaces in one single turn, you need to take the 100 and divide it by 12. In that case you will get a measurement of 8.3. Now it's very difficult to measure 8.3 specifically or accurately, so you have to do this construction if it gives you a decimal as an answer. And for that I would like to show you the following operation, how to do this division if you have a decimal as an answer. If you have a number without a decimal, you can just simply measure it. If it was perfectly 8, you can just measure 8, 16, 24 and so forth until the top. So let me show you this construction quickly. So this is my box here, or my height from here to there, it's 100. So you will understand that this is a 100 measurement from there to there. And we decided to divide it into 12 parts because inside here must be 12, and that gave you 8.3. Because it's a decimal, you can either draw any angle from that point or from this point. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. In your drawing, it is drawn from this point. I will show you another method. Any angle. Remember, no specific angle like this. I like to draw it tight so that it's quite long. So that's where I'm going to draw my line. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take my ruler and use a comfortable opening of my radius on my compass being 10 or 1 centimeter, and just put it on that point there and just mark it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. To check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Once I have the 12 point, it's very important for me to take this point to my top of my front view, which is that there. So I'm going to keep it like that, and I want to show you, keep it like that, find another straight edge so that it forms a base here. Keep this base tight with your finger and let this slide. So you're going to slide it down to the next point, and you're going to draw the line. Slide and draw the line. So there, you can slide down, draw the line. If by any chance you move proceedings, just go back there, put it in line there with the first one, and just check and slide down again. So let's go for it. Slide, slide and draw. I'm just going to make some space for myself. Move it down, slide and draw, slide and draw. And so you can work with 24 spaces if you need to do 24 spaces as well. In this case, we're lucky just to work with 12. Okay, and the last one is going to be the one that I have there. Once you have completed that, it's important for you then to take your lines with your T-square across like that, starting at the top so that you can see that all the lines are nice and parallel like that. You go right down to the bottom. Each of these would be perfectly now 8.3, which you could not have measured very accurately, but at least this construction helps you to actually get it nice and even. Perfect. Right, let's go back to my previous slide. So you can perform that construction even from this line, and maybe you can use 1 centimeter. If you use your compass, you just open it up one size and you just mark it off 12 times, and then you draw your line to the top or the bottom, and then form a little slide to create lines on the same angle onto the side here, and then straight. Once you have that, that is my starting point there now. Even though it's a line, it's my starting point, center line point there, right? And this rotation, as mentioned in the instruction page, and I just want to go back there, is a right-handed. Now, in this case, right-handed means that from the top down, it's going to be clockwise. So that arrow indicates that it's going to move in that direction. So there you're going to plot all your points right down to the bottom where it's going to stop. So you plot, 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 plot right down. Once you have that, you are going to take your circle template, and on your circle template you will find that that circle is 16 millimeters. So you take your 16 millimeter circle on your circle template, and you construct a circle around each of these points, where each of these points would then be the center, like that. Start faint, 16 millimeters. Even though they overlap each other, not a trench match, leave it as is, because that will create the thickness. Once you have that, you are now going to draw faint a freehand line touching the circumferences of all the circles on that side and on the inside here. Okay, and once you have that, you can actually darken that, and it's going to look like that. Now, because this goes that way, that part faces the opposite of your view. This goes down. That little piece that goes in there, or that little line, shows that that is a curl, and that this curl takes preference over that curl. You can see the turn happening here with that little line extended there, and this part here at the bottom where you will stop will actually face you. So that circle becomes a dark circle, and you can hatch it. If you must press this really down very hard, this will actually meet up as a circle like that. Okay, and that's what your coil spring will look like after you have constructed. I hope you're going to enjoy. Thank you very much.